G'day everyone and welcome to another episode on the RiverStyx server. How beautiful was that to watch, right? It was therapeutic, it had nice, smooth breakage of everything. It just looks amazing. Doesn't even cause that much lag, believe it or not. You can hear the minecarts underneath doing what they do best and just absolutely cleaning up underneath us. Over this side, if you're listening, you can hear all the droppers below us just going crazy at the moment. Let's go have a quick look at them and see what's going on down there. So from down here, yeah, you can just see there's lots of bamboo coming through. It's all stacking up together. And look at this. It's boom, boom, boom. It's just flying under. The previous episode was filmed over the Easter long weekend, and I left you all a little bit of an Easter egg. Now, how many of you actually spotted that we deliberately misspelt the word River Styx on both sides? Now, I'm not going to tell you which letter was wrong, but if you haven't already commented, I know you didn't find it. But let me know now. Go back, watch the previous video, and you tell me which letter was incorrect on the word River Styx, and why didn't you pick up on it the first time? Alright, I've had my fun. Let's get into today's episode. So, we've got a few things that we need to get done today. And to be honest with you, I think we need to spend a little bit of time doing a bit of cleanup, because this city is getting out of control. There's chests all over the place. There's shulker boxes all over the place. I don't know if you've seen the main street for a while, but this area over here has gone insane. Look at this. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, it is mostly organized. You can see this is all black stone, that's all glass, that's all dirt, that's all stone, that's all, I think it was leaves. This is all the different colors of concrete in their respective colors. You got iron, so it's all pretty well nice and tidy here. So it's not too bad, even though it's a bit messy. It is organized, and even over here, this is all just road building stuff and footpath building stuff. But it is going to need to be tidied up because it's starting to look a bit messy, and I might have to get that done. Maybe I'll get that done on live stream. Maybe I'll do it between episodes. We'll figure it out. That is much better. Spidered Watermelon started tidying this all up on his own as I came online to start tidying up myself. He was already about 2/3 of the way through doing it. And it's all done. It's all organized, all packed away. Not only that, Spider and I have spent a lot of time just restocking everything. So we've restocked all the rockets and the redstone boxes and things like that. So this is all ready to go. It's just, yeah, it's pretty crazy in here now. So we are ready again to not fly, I guess. We are ready again to start building. So let's get our construction hat on and let's get this done. So over here, we're going to have a bit of a construction site because no city is perfectly built up already. You know, there's a bit of a construction site. Now, somewhere in this area, there's actually a slime chunk. I've got to find it again. But what we're going to do is we're going to start by getting this whole area here turned into a bit of a construction site. So I've marked it out with some yellow concrete blocks just to give you a bit of an idea of the scale of this thing. So this is going to be a massive building that's currently under construction. So it's not going to be finished. It's just going to be under construction, but it's going to have a lot of life in it. So what I need to do to start with is I need to fix up that land because as you can see, it just sort of drops off the edge there, which isn't any good. And then what I've got to do is I've got to change this because construction sites don't have nice green grass. So I'm going to dirty it up a bit with some coarse dirt and some gravel and some other bits and bobs. Make it look like it's a bit worn down a bit. So I'm going to go do that now. I'm just going to get this land prepared and I'll be right back. All right, so we've got a nice little starter platform here. So this is just basically going to be, you know, like the ground beneath the construction site. So this is going to constantly change and evolve as we go. But this is just to start with, just so that we're not working on green grass, because if this was a true construction site, there's not going to be this nice pristine green grass. Now, yes, I'm completely aware that there is this sharp edge and it's all just floating, and yes, I know that looks horrible, it looks horrendous. Don't worry, that's all going to get fixed. I don't want to fix it just yet. This will all be terraformed out nicely so it looks good. But I don't want to do it just yet because there's a possibility I may have to extend this out a bit further this way, or possibly even this way. It's a good starter, and it's starting to look like a real dead area that's just sort of under construction. Now, I've used coarse dirt here because the beauty about coarse dirt is that it can't convert to grass. So if you use coarse dirt, grass can't spread over to it, whereas regular dirt it can. I got a few coral blocks in this section only, really. I kind of gave up on the coral blocks in the end. I decided I didn't really like them that much. We got some brown concrete, which was a fantastic suggestion by Sunday Latte in my stream. We got some gravel and some dripstone. This was another great suggestion by Sunday Latte. This is the dripstone block, and I think that it just ties in really well, adds a bit of texture. We got some gravel patches. We got a little bit of spruce wood in there, just to sort of, you know, give it a little bit of texture, a few different colors, so it's not just a flat color. I think it's come out really nice, and I'm really happy with it. Now, this is going to tell a story. It's going to be a live, active place, right? We're going to be spending in the next few episodes doing a little bits and bobs on this area. So, if you look over here, first of all, you'll notice I took away the barrier for the road, and you can see that obviously the road's broken up because it doesn't continue on. And what I've got is I've got some of this podzol. Now I've got some more in my inventory here. What we're going to do is we're going to just sort of dig up a bit of this coarse dirt. Not exactly perfectly all the way along, but I just think it looks really muddy. It looks like there's a bit of a joke on stream about what it looks like, and I'll leave that up to your imagination. But it kind of looks a bit more like mud. So I'm sort of thinking, what I want to do is I want to use this to make a track all the way around that'll sort of come down here. All right, head all the way along here, all the way around here, and then all the way back up here. But before I can do that, I need to be sure that this is going to be the edge. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit here, probably leave it where it is now, and I'll do a little bit over this side over here. And this is going to be sort of where the trucks, you know, when the trucks arrive with the materials, they come down here, they drive all the way around the job site, all the way back around here, and then they get unloaded, and then they can exit back onto the road through here. So we're going to break this bit of curb here up as well, and we're going to make that a bit of a construction site. We also need to put like a big fence around this thing. We've got so much work to do, hence why it's going to take a few weeks to do. What I want to do right now, you might notice I've got some shears in my hands. I want to get some grass. I've got some shears, I've got some bone meal so I can make more grass. But I want to get some long grass, some tall grass, and basically just go around with this and just place them down here. Not too much, just little bits, just so it looks like some weeds that are sort of growing up through it. That way it's not such a flat surface, because at the moment there's no depth to it. It is just completely flat. And I do plan on having some bottom slabs in there and things like that. And so things like we've done with the road here, we've created a couple of potholes. I do plan on doing that later on, but we are going to chuck some of these in. It's not like I said, it's not going to be crazy, but just a few here and there, just to give it a little bit of life and make it look like there's a bit of weed growing through through all the dirt. Because even on a job site, it's not going to be perfect. That looks horrible. So I'm just going to do those three changes real quick. A little bit of grass here and there. And as you can see, I am just placing it randomly. And then we'll get the truck tracks in, and then we'll fix up that curb up that end so that it's a bit more broken up and looks like trucks have just been driving over it. So let's get that done, and I'll be right back. Oh, and those of you who are eagle-eyed to notice that I have lost my 460 levels, that's what happens when I let stream mess with me. I had no armor on, I was eating spider eyes, and I had to go and see Deadman to get the dripstone blocks. So big thank you to Deadman for supplying me with those. And let's just say it didn't end very well. It ended up with me getting attacked by all sorts, and yeah. Either way, I no longer have my levels. Okay, let's get this done. This is already looking really good. Alright, it's now starting to come a little bit to life. If we fly over the top, you can see that the track marks coming around. I ended up doing this side anyway. You can see that clearly looks like track marks from a truck or something similar. So it kind of stands out that little bit, and all the heavy weight of those truck tires have just pushed through, and all the mud is coming up and things like that. We've got it a little bit heavier as it exits. We've also got a couple of little mud tracks in the road as well, so it's tracked it out onto the road, which I think is sort of a nice little touch. I've ripped out this bit of curb here, although this curb may end up going slightly back, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I ended up using more of this dripstone block. I think it looks really good. It sort of looks a bit like a broken up clay almost, or something like that. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely helping. And then a little bit of the road pushed into here as well. It doesn't hurt at all. And then of course we've got all the grass around as well. So like I said, I didn't want to go crazy with the grass. More grass will be added later on around things like the cranes and things like that underneath them and sort of surrounding them. So if this was, let's say this was the base of the crane here, then we might do a little bit more dirt, more grass around here, and maybe even underneath it in this section here. But I need to put those cranes in first, and that's for a whole nother episode. Before we can start doing any work on a construction site, you need a side office. So we're going to build a couple of side offices over here. Now, if you don't know what a side office is, usually what it is it's an office that is built into something like a sea container, and they deliver it on a truck. They bring a truck in, they literally just grab it, they park up on the road, and they go plonk, and then it just sits there, and that's the office that they work out of when they're doing construction. So we're going to need a couple of those, and we're going to need to get a fence up around this before we can start any construction, because we need it to be safe, and we need to have somewhere for the architect and all that sort of stuff to go. So let's get that done now. All right, so the first side office is going to go down here, right on this corner, I think. Let's go, 2 off the corner. Let's start it there, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go, I think we're going to go 16 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we'll go by 4. So 16 by 4, that'll be the size of it. And then what we'll do is we'll just chuck a couple of stairs, upside down stairs, just on a couple of these spots. Where did I go? I went 3 in, and then it was on the 4th. So 2, 3, and that was the 4th. So these sea containers, they often have little portholes like that for forklifts to pick them up and put them inside and things like that. So we'll have a couple of those put in here as well. Why not? And that's the base. And we put a quick torch in the bottom of here to make sure that spiders and things like that aren't going to spawn in. Then we have a quick sleep. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is basically we're just going to build up the walls. So I'm thinking we go 4 high. So let's just do this whole base layer for a moment. So I've gone with the smooth quartz along the bottom just because I want it to have a different color base and a different color roof. So the smooth quartz on the bottom seems to work quite well. And then the sides can be a different color, which in this case we're going to go with cyan concrete. And we'll go with a different color for the next side office, but we'll figure that out in a moment. So it's starting to build a bit of shape. Now let's do a roof, because it needs a roof. And because those torches are in there, nothing will spawn in there, so we're fine. So we're just going to go with a smooth andesite roof, or polished andesite roof, should I say? Just like that. Perfect. All right, so it looks a little bit flat, but it is starting to take a bit of shape. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a little door in, because it needs a door. Okay, and then it needs some windows, because there's no point in having a side office if they can't see outside at what's happening on the work site. So let's break in some windows, and I brought some light grey stained glass in, glass panes. So we'll smash those into the window holes. And I'm going to get rid of this middle window because I think it looked a little bit too much window from the outside. So let's go have a look at that from the other side and see what we think. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks a little bit like a side office. All right, now this side over here, this just faces the road. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a door right here. Boom. Whew, that was hard work. We'll open that up, and we're just going to slab up this floor because I don't want to waste so much quartz because it's not cheap. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So you got a pretty good, they've got a pretty good view of the job site. It looks structurally sound. We've got some random windows in here. I'm not sure if I like all these windows, to be honest with you, but that's fine. We're going to chuck another window right here and another window right here. So this is mostly just like offices for like the architects and all that sort of stuff. So that's the first sea container done. All right, now I'm going to do a couple more of those and I'll be right back. All right, so we've got a couple of side offices. Well, we've got actually one side office only, actually, to be honest with you. We may add more later, but for now this is good enough. So they each have a staircase to get them in, so you can get into the place. Like I said, we haven't decorated it. I've chucked a couple of torches in here just so we don't end up with mobs as employees, but you know that's all right. Over here, I've chucked a little security hut. So this is just like, you know, where the trucks come out. I've even chucked a little boom gate in here. We've basically just got, if you look carefully, you got some string here. You can see it just along that line there. And then we've got the carpet just sitting straight on top of the string. So from the security guard's point of view, he can see the trucks. He can see the trucks that want to come in over that side. You'll notice there's another boom gate over there. So he can see the trucks coming in over that side. He can see the trucks that want to leave over here. And he can see all the way down the street. So he's got a pretty good view of the whole job site that he needs to see. There's another boom gate over here for before the trucks can come in. So this will stop people from coming in. And finally over here, we have some toilets. Because, you know what? You need toilets. So we're going to get some more of this sort of stuff and put it around the outside of the, out of basically anything that's fixed where people aren't likely to really walk. Obviously here people are walking in and out. But like over this side, not so much, even on this side here, which is basically just completely plain. Now that is completely plain, and I've got nice high windows, so if people are in here and they're in the toilets, the outside can't see, but it still gets a little bit of light for them. And again, we've got a little torch in the corner there, and a second little torch over here. And yes, it's got a little dividing wall to give them more privacy. And you got males and females, or however you want to look at it. And yeah, so job site is starting to come to life. Now, there's one last thing we need to do before we can start constructing anything. And that is a fence. Because at the moment, if we start digging or if we start bringing heavy machinery in, things like that, the general public can just go let themselves in, and before you know it, someone's going to get really badly hurt. So let's put up a fence around this side and this side. I'm not going to worry about those two sides just yet. Purely, entirely because, as I mentioned before, I've missed 2 blocks. I'll be right back. Much better. I also just quickly chucked a couple more slabs over here. I've just basically, this path was sort of cut back down to here before, so I've just sort of made it so it looks a bit more consistent to the way it should be. And plenty of room for the trucks still to get out. And yeah, and they've still got their little muddy, pooey looking blocks there. So, as I was saying, I'm going to put the fence around this whole thing now, or not around the whole thing, but around that side there, most likely around that edge over there, definitely around that edge over there, and then these two I'm not going to worry about because I'm not quite sure how much further this needs to extend out, and when it comes to terraforming this, it's not going to be a sharp edge like this. It's going to be a more of a blend, kind of like this here, where it sort of went from the road down to that. I mean, this is still a bit of a sharp edge, or a bit too sharp for the way I like it. So I'll probably make a couple of small adjustments here, but it will have a bit of a blend where a little bit of the grass will creep in here, a little bit of this will creep out there, and yeah, but I just got to figure out the terraforming and also what's going to be on the other side of these roads later on. So let's build this fence, and I might jump in a quick time lapse. We'll build, because I haven't done one yet, so might as well do. I just ran out of rockets. I'm going to go right up to the top so I can glide down. So I'm going to go in a quick time lapse. We'll build these fences out, and I'll see you when that's done. Alright, so we've got the fences complete. Now, what I'm going for here is, you know, like when you're in a city and they've got the temporary fencing up, and they usually have some sort of advertisement on it. I'll put a little image up on the screen if I remember when I edit this. Right here. We'll see if I remember. Otherwise, I'm just going to be staring up at the sky. It'll be funny. But anyway, so what I've done is basically we've come up with the... it was actually Spider Watermelon suggested this green glass to me. I originally had clear glass. He was like, why don't you use green glass? I was like, that's so much better. It gives that sort of green tinge, almost like you're sort of looking through something that's covering it. So the idea is that these are meant to sort of be like metal frames with just like a mesh sort of covering, and then it's just got like a cover over it. So it's kind of meant to make it harder to see in, but it also like stops all the sand and all that sort of stuff from blowing out from the worksite, or the dust and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's come together quite well. What I wanted as a result, and it's come along really well, is I want it to sort of be like an obstruction to the view, but still be able to see, you know, you can still see those toilets, you can still see the side office, you can still see the security hut. So it actually looks like it's doing what it's meant to do. Then up the top here we've got barbed wire. What I've done with barbed wire is I've used the pink corals. I can't remember the actual names of them, but the pink corals and the red corals, I think it was. Just one after the other. So if you have a look, you can actually see that those two are slightly different to each other. So that one I think is a pink one, and that one I think is a red one. But I think it gives a really nice effect of the barbed wire. I was originally going to use cobwebs, but they just look too clean, too pristine. And then I've put this on top of the edge of the path there. So this path is a little bit narrower, but that's pretty normal anyway when it comes to construction site. I've left this bit here wide open because obviously, you know, you still need to get a truck through here. This is looking a tiny bit narrow to me now, but it should be still okay because the truck itself is only 3 blocks wide. So it should still be able to come here, say hello to security, and then drive off. Obviously, the truck's going to be a bit taller than I am. The trucks would be about as high as the wall, maybe a little bit taller. And then, of course, we've got it on the other side. And even from the back of the glass, if you're looking at it from the other side, you can still see that opaqueness to it. It just looks really nice. And then over this way, over here, what I've done is I've actually wrapped it around this way, for one. So that's to sort of give the illusion that maybe you're sort of, that when it goes to nighttime, they just drag this one over here, and they use it to close off the gate. I may do another one here later on, but I've got to do some terraforming first because this is still just floating. All right, so all in all, I think this place turned out quite well so far, and I can't wait to do more in the next episode because I have sadly run out of time in this episode. I love the fences, I love the walls, I love the ground, I love the boom gates. Let's go and start in the next episode. See you there.